If you have ever played with Raspberry Pi, then you probably noticed that sound quality from it is probably far from being the best. So we have a few solutions to this problem. You can, for example, buy external USB Soundcard, or you can buy hifiberry, which is a very nice add-on to the GPIO, or you can do it yourself. The advantage of USB Soundcard is that it's quite cheap usually, and it's also very simple to use. You just plug it in and it should work if you have the right drivers. However, the disadvantage is that you have some latency, so if you need some, let's say, real-time audio output for virtual musical instruments, then it probably won't work too well for you. The advantage of hifiberry is that it's really high quality, but the disadvantage is that it's probably not the cheapest solution. And then you finally have this. The advantage is that you have full control over what you're doing if you know what you're doing. However, the disadvantage, and it's really cheap. And the disadvantage is that, well, you can always have this mess and you need to know what you're doing. So that's it. So I went for the third option, my custom solution. And actually, it's much easier than it looks like, because as you can see, it's two Chinese modules soldered together. So the first module is a digital to analog converter chip. This is PCM5102 chip. And then there is this one, which is a headphone amplifier, and it's a TDA1308 chip. So first of all, this DAC chip, it is 320 kilohertz and 24 bits digital to analog converter. It doesn't have software volume control, however, it's not a big problem because you can always control it from whatever piece of software you're using for playback. So for example, you can just decrease volume in VLC or something like that and it will work. The only thing is that you cannot control it in your system panel. So it's usually not a big problem. It offers quite a nice sound quality from my perspective. It comes with line outputs here, but you cannot plug headphones in it. Of course, nothing will happen if you do that, but it will be just very quiet. So this output is dedicated for plugging in your stereo, for example. And then to solve this issue, we have this separate headphone amplifier. Like I said, this is a TDA1308 chip. This is nothing more than an operational amplifier, but adjusted or designed for higher power solutions, such as powering your headphones. I already tested this chip with my 250 ohm headphones. Those are Biodynamic DT770, and it works quite well. So it actually can run quite heavy headphones and it should be fine. So now I guess you're probably wondering how to connect all this stuff together, because it looks quite messy and I have plenty of wires here and it doesn't look too nice. But trust me, it's really quite simple. Below in the video description I described exactly what wire goes where. I mean, which pin is connected to which pin on this board. This board can be bought quite easily if you just look up for some Raspberry Pi DAC on Chinese trading websites, or Raspberry Pi PCM5102. You'll definitely find this board. And as you can see, all those pins are labeled. Not all of them need to be connected, actually most of them go to the ground. And then you just need to solder a few wires to your GPIO on your Raspberry Pi. Edit just a single file to make it load the proper driver for it, actually the hifiberry driver, and that's going to work straight out of the box if you didn't make any critical error. And this one, it's quite simple, because all you need to do is, look, this board has this audio output pins, so I soldered it through gold pin connector to this red board, which is the amplifier board, so this is the input of it. Then you have the output, which is connected directly to headphone jack socket, and you additionally need to solder the power minus and plus, and as you can see they go accordingly to the VCC here, which is 5 volts, and minus goes to ground here, which is just ground on the Raspberry Pi. And that's it. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to make it more sturdy. I will be designing quite a nice and tiny board using I would call this technique photolithography actually, because we're going to use UV light activated mask or UV light activated varnish to make this board, because those connections are going to be quite tiny, almost like a hair. You'll see it's gonna be amazing. I really hope that it's going to work. And well, I think with the description and everything, you should be able to do it yourself. So I wish you good luck, and make sure that, you know, if it goes well, if it doesn't for some reason, share it with me, share it in the description, and I try to help you as much as I can. So good luck again, and see you in the next video.